Okay. Um, you know, the way they've just manipulated things in my brain, and it's been continuously disturbing. That it's crazy. It's just so nasty. Um, but you see here, this is pictures of very wholesome father and son. Father being affectionate to their son, and it's wholesome. There's nothing disturbing about this. It's actually, it's just really, heartwarming kind of stuff. That definitely makes you kind of want to be a father. If anything, it's just kind of the side of being a father, and seeing a father and son relationship there. It just kind of makes you want to be a father, if anything else. And the reason why I'm showing these pictures is, as a target individual, I'm telling you the way they have been manipulated, the way they manipulate our brain to turn wholesomeness into disgusting pedophilia ways of thinking, changing reality and your memories. They were doing this thing where they were making me think of like the back of the neck of a child, like a little boy, and giving me like sexual stimulations. It's kind of changing it from like, how like wholesome and like it can be like when you see like a father like like doing something affectionate, like kissing the back of the neck of his young son, or something like affectionate, but they're turning it into something sexual. Like turning into something sexual, it's just so disgusting. And I was like, this is I don't know how it's happening in my brain. I don't know how they're creating this weird like rewiring to turn this thing in sexual. Like when they make me imagine, I'm looking at here, I was like, I can't believe they're doing this. I wish I could bring up like a picture exactly of what they're showing. For example, that kid all the way, the little one in blue, looking at his father up there. This is a wholesome, adorable child and his father. But the way they change in my brain is just sexual. It's just something disgusting. It's just rewiring it in something disturbingly pedophilia centric, turning in something just wholesome and just like endearing, to turn into something sexual. Like now, like what, the back, and it's specific to the back of the neck. That's crazy. And I have a picture of my like a kid that I used to be part of his life in a sense, because I was dating the sister of the brother who was having that kid. And so there's even picture of me in my dating app with like a little boy, right? So that's why they don't like to do these things for the little boys. This is why they're not being so aggressive. They could easily do that, but it will make no sense, because like, what happened to that little boy? And they're like, no, but the boy has to be like a little younger, a little older. Like, that's when you get that. It's so disturbing. It's disturbing. But that's the way they rewire the brain. It's just so nasty. These people work for entities where there's a lot of issue with pedophilia. Matter of fact, the most disturbing part I just experienced, and I should probably make a video about this. You're gonna hear the issues, right, in these entities, right? They're forcing us target individual to break us down. It's part of the breakdown system to try to make you, they pattern you from you. So they're making you have different experiences than your actual experiences, rewiring in them in a sexual way, on something that's stimulating, but in sexually way. And then they do this nose campaign to try to box in this version, and try to break you down using these games, these mind games of using threats and fear to try to get you to accept this. This is ridiculous. The back of the neck. This is like, if anything, this is like it's like it's like wholesome. It's adorable. It's just like you don't want to, like, it doesn't bring anything sexual, but they're rewiring that to turn that into something sexual. To turn it into something that just becomes a sexual reaction. And they come in, it's like they're going to be castrating you. It's like, this is so nasty. But I don't know, this is what you guys do. You guys have rewired me in this disgusting way. So what happened with this little boy there? Is it because he was still too much of a little boy and they make me think of, for example, a coworker of mine who they try to play with this disturbing, like the way they manipulate my memories. A coworker of mine brought her little son, and I know the coworker of mine. I went to her house. She had two young sons. One I think like 6, one maybe 8 or something like that, and just adorable kids, just typical kids. And now they try to create this like reaction. So, no, but you see the back of the head. That's when you felt like I felt what? And they're changing, giving me some weird feeling in my brain, which they can do. They can create a feeling in your brain. They can change a reaction and give you like this brain chemical feeling. That's like a stimulating feeling, like a sexual stimulating, not really sexual, but something just like sparking up in your brain that is just not what you experience naturally, but what they changed it to. You look at these kids like, oh, this is a little baby. Now they try to change it into something sexual. It's just so hard to describe. And me looking at pictures of how they try to change something. For example, you see how you look at this little kid all the way to the right? Him, the father holding his. So imagine this little kid's neck, the back of this little kid's neck. Something like that. But turn into something sexual now. Like giving you this feeling and rewiring it in something sexual. It's so fucking nasty. But what's most disturbing, and I'm sorry for the cursing, it's just that's the best way I can react to this, is when they when I'm looking for these pictures, right? I'm looking for this picture. I'm like wholesome pictures with father, right? A wholesome picture of, and then I try to find, and I actually found a funny picture of like Tom Brady kissing the back of the neck of his son. Right, this is wholesome, but the son is a little old. He's like 13 years old, so that's a little like getting to the older in the sense that to be this kind of affectionate to your son may raise a little bit of, but it's wholesome too. I know he's just being affectionate. I think people just think that was kind of, but anyways, and so this is what I'm kind of talking about. Like, maybe this kid is a little too old for that kind of affection. But if your son is like the age of this kid over there at the bottom or something like that, this is what that'll be the norm. That'll be wholesome. But to me, my brain now, they turn into something sexual. Now, I've never done that. I don't have a son. But if I had a son, I would be affectionate to my son the way every father should be affectionate to their son. But that's the shit. The way they created things is to turn into pedophilia things. And so when I would see that, if I see that, I would see that this is it's wholesome, it's endearing, it's like this. But now they turn into something sexual. It's nasty. And so I was like, okay, let me see if there's pictures of that, right? Of a father being affectionate, giving like his son a kiss on the cheek, on the neck, or something like that, something affectionate. I do this search, right? And I see a bunch of like very wholesome pictures of fathers, wholesome pictures of fathers and their son, and giving them kisses on the cheeks and things. Very wholesome. I scroll down and I see one very bizarre picture. It's disgusting. You see a little girl kissing a father, or what looks like her father, but it looks a little disturbing, and it just looks a little bit beyond just regular affection between father and kids and their kids. And it was like it's not like a real picture, it's like illustration of it. Like it's not a real image. It's like, and it was like, oh, that was like, oh, okay, looks a little too weird. The way she was holding him and everything. I was like, yeah, that is just like, oh. But, at least for me now, everything like that, it becomes weird. But for me, who's being forced to see things in these disturbing ways, I couldn't look at that without that turning to something else in my brain. So I'm like, oh, because they're going to manipulate my brain in these ways. And I'm like, maybe they made this whole thing up so I see these pictures. So they can create this. And they'll tell me, yeah, we're going to dare to implant child porn. Or they make illusion of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when I see that, I realize this is what child porn is. Well, it wasn't child porn per se, but it could be seen in weird way. That's what I can say. But I was like, oh my gosh, imagine like really they implant child porn. This is the world that they're in. This is when they try to say they dare. They will be daring to put this nastiness. And this is what the issue that you're going to hear. That the entities that run this program They consume this kind of nastiness, this trash around me. They work and live in this nastiness. Listen, I don't know if there's a heaven, I don't know if there's a hell, but there is no way that people involved in this program doing these things, if there's such a thing as a hell, is for sure anybody involved in this will go to hell. We'll talk about this. This is the nastiness, and they try to sound fierce about it too. So who are you? We'll talk about it. Like, oh my, we talk about this is the things that you guys involved in. That's the nasty world you're in. This is so disgusting. It is nothing fierce. It's just so disgusting, disturbing. These people that in this program doing these things to us, target individual, they have lost any self-respect. It's not fierce. Listen, a killer can go kill you and still sound fierce. But somebody who do these pedophilia things to you and manipulate your nasty pedophilia, put nasty pedophilia type of imagery for you to look at or to frame you. There's nothing fucking fierce for. There's nothing fierce about this. I rather scream it in hell, be ripped apart, than live life doing this shit. And they try to sound this disgusting way, like, oh, you'll be fearful. And I know they try to sound via this tonality, using V2K, to sound this like badass. I'm like, you are just badass fucking pedophile. This is what you guys live off? No way. I was right all along. I'd rather die in hell. These people, like, they tell me, oh, we're going to go on vacation. So, like, you're going to go on vacation after this this is the world you're in. These people are disgusting trash. Listen, the way they manipulate your brain is disturbing. It's weird, too. It's just confusingly weird. I don't even know how to describe it. I wish I could put it in word and articulate how they rewiring this wholesomeness. When I'm saying wholesome, I mean like wholesome. Like what you see here is wholesome, right? Changing it into something sexual. And it's just weird because at the same time I have like a picture of me with a little boy, but in my brain's like the child is like, no, this little boy is not. It's like he got a fat head and fat. To try to make me accept the way they're just rewiring this thing in these disgusting ways. The way I could best describe what they're doing to me. And I don't know if there's a better way to describe that. So you see, I don't even know what to even, like, I wish I could see it. So you see this little kid over there, all the way to the right. They say the way you look at this little kid's, that little neck, that they will do this, they then change into something sexual. Instead of, look at these kids. This is wholesome as hell. They turn into something sexual. Nasty. And they're like, no, you're gonna ride in hell. It's like, I'd rather ride in hell. This is your heaven. Like I would say, this is the pedophile paradise for them. Listen, we all die. We will all die. Imagine doing these things they do and then die. Now, they talk about playing child porn. Listen, these people are so trashy that I believe they would do it. But seeing this weird picture that just came out of nowhere, that maybe that's child porn per se, but it's kind of weirdly, I would say it's just uncomfortable. That's what I would say. Coming up, I'm just imagining. So this is the things that these people can be watching, can be consuming, and could be used to frame people. Like a disturbing version of that, a more disturbing version of that. And try to sound this way, oh, you've been screaming hell. I was like, oh my goodness. Yo, there's no hell that can erase this reality that you guys are in. To all my target individual, stay strong. Be strong. And find yourself lucky that you didn't have to live life like them. These people have been having issues with pedophilia. And I understand how disturbing it is because, you hear the nastiness. You don't know exactly how bad it is. Then I see this just not even, it's just an uncomfortable image. And you're like, this is just, quick snippet of how nasty things can be in their world. And they're like, no, it's our pedophilia. Jesus. These people are the trash of earth, and they try to make me imagine them being, because they're some kind of progressive femme fatale wannabe, try to present themselves that way. So these kids doing these things to, this is yours. Target individuals, find yourself lucky that you didn't have to sell your soul to pedophiles, because these bottom fears have. There's no coming back from that. There's no way I would want to trade places with them.